Hi, I'm Aimee, and I'm the owner of Fiction of Reality, a bookshop, independent bookshop here in Wellington Point, Brisbane, in Queensland. And I am so excited to be starting this YouTube series where we talk to some amazing Australian authors. So, to start off our series, we are talking with Kiki Townley. She's a local Brisbane author, and her debut novel, From the Stars, was independently published earlier this year. A bit of a sci fi, fantasy, and some beautiful kind of healing in it as well. We did this book for book club, and so we were excited to chat with her, pick her brain, and really kind of delve into her journey as a writer, how she got here, and really excited to share this with you. So we asked our book club for some questions and just some general questions as well. But a lot of people wanted to know, what was your journey as a writer, now author? Were you always into writing? Or was it something you've just sprang upon? How did we get here today?
What a good question. Honestly, I have always written when I
Yeah.
was really, really young. I have this like distinct memory. The first memory I have of writing is sitting in our front frangipani tree, crawled up it, had my little notepad, my little pen, and I think I was like 8, and I had unrequited love with some guy, and I was writing a poem about my heartache.
Oh my goodness. What a beautiful memory.
It's just my way, I suppose, of processing the emotions. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
always
yeah.
kind of been that way through poetry, songwriting. And then I started long form probably, I want to say like maybe grade 6 or 7, like not long after that, to be honest, maybe a
Mhm.
year later. And then my English teacher actually submitted one of my short stories with my permission to this competition, and I won, and I got to go and meet Roald Dahl, which was really
Oh
cool.
my
And
gosh, that's
yeah,
amazing.
it was really cool. And I remember him saying, like, you've got something. And I can't remember the rest of it. It's so weird. Not till I was maybe 21, because I got D's in English all through middle school and high school. Like
No way.
I failed. And I had to work really, really hard to do it because I had so much creative
Yeah.
minds. They would give me a task and I
Yeah.
would like make a story.
And then
They're
they were
like,
like,
okay,
no,
but
you're
who
meant to
said
be doing
that?
an essay. And it's like, but no.
They're like, you have no structure. I don't know where you're getting this information from. I was like, my imagination.
What do you mean? Are you not up here?
Literally. I'm like, but it's no fun if I just have to get it from a textbook.
Uh,
So I was processing some, philosophical themes that my
mm,
therapist had told me. She's like, if you're struggling, I suppose, to, you know, understand the world around you, why don't you write a world that you would feel authentic in? And
mm.
then that's kind of how From the Stars happened. So that was pretty much it.
I
And I
love
read some
that,
to a
like
friend.
your journey, like when you were younger, it was there. And then did you lose that kind of love for writing at school, like high school, or were you still writing at home?
I would still do my poetry at
Yeah.
home. Like even in university, I would study by taking all the information and putting it in poems, and then I would
Yeah.
memorize the poems
Oh
instead of
my
like just
gosh.
like
I love how your mind works. That is so beautiful.
and then I think I just kept that a secret because teachers, I would always get in trouble for my
Yeah.
English, and do better essentially was the mantra. So
Yeah.
I did lose that love of it because it became so analytical and it lost
Yeah.
its imagination because of curriculum.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I had some friends read a couple drafts of just like, hey, this is what I'm working on. It's kind of fun. They're like, what the fuck? I'm like, this is really good. So I
Where is
read
this hidden talent? Why are you not telling us?
literally. So straight after that, it was maybe 2 years from that point I published, and now I'm like back into little me's like dreams. So that's
Oh,
cool.
that is so beautiful.
Thank
So, what is
you.
your day-to-day job currently?
I am a silicon sealer. I don't know if you are familiar with what that is.
No,
It's a
like
very
in bathrooms and stuff, kind of? Or, yeah.
Mhm. So bathrooms, warehouses. Yesterday I was doing a parking lot at like a Toyota factory, and basically it's like any joint in between a right angle, there's going to be
Hmm.
movement, especially in Queensland with the weather, like
Yeah, yeah.
houses and buildings like shift. So you need something, a gel that's in there that gives it that flexibility without uh, water coming through when it rains and stuff like that. So yeah,
Yep.
that's what I do. So I'm a
Oh my
tradie.
gosh.
It's quite the contrast.
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected that from your beautiful writing to then, day-to-day tradie. I love that. Go you.
Thank you.
Um, with your writing, you've gotten obviously the indie route. Do you plan to try and go into traditionally publishing, or are you kind of sticking with indie at the moment?
Honestly, I love being indie. Like,
Yeah.
it's just something that allows full creative freedom and
Yeah.
rights.
Hmm.
If I found an agent that I really trusted to not force me to change my ending or pick a cover that doesn't align or,
Yeah.
make me take out parts that I think send a positive message.
Yeah. It kind of goes back to you're like losing it in schooling when they're trying to maybe fit you in a box or something, and you're like, I'm not in a box.
Literally, I just got goosebumps as you said that. Thank you for helping me put that into words. Exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So maybe one day if I found an agent or a publishing house that
Yeah.
I felt was on my side, yeah.
Okay. And so the background of your story, where the group of people come, is truly intriguing. Has that always been in your head, or like is that just something sparked in it because everyone really loved that escapism kind of thing in that group of people and that, living their true life? Was that something you kind of had in there, or how did you come about that?
I think I've always just been so drawn to nature itself, and
Hmm.
I thought of sending her out there to discover herself, but I was like, no, she's going to need guidance.
Yeah.
And I really am so, so, so drawn and have always been really drawn to Indigenous cultures. Like, I love the way they live, which is why I mentioned like the elder chef, and, like I'm
Mhm.
trying to really celebrate. Even like a quick side note, like we have a whole industry that shames us for aging, but the Indigenous celebrate that. So I
Yeah.
really wanted to bring in a lot of those pure sort of who we are, not what we do concepts. And I drew a lot from Indigenous culture.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it didn't necessarily spark. I knew they needed to be someone to show her a way of life to authenticity that is outside of the society we
Yeah.
live in. And I drew from them a lot.
I love that. Um, for this series, have you planned how many books? Have you got it mapped out in your head? What's kind of going to happen? What's your plan for this series?
So book 2 is with the developmental editor right now.
Yep.
The cover's done. I'm gonna do like a previously on in the beginning of each book, so you don't have
I
to
love
reread.
that. We literally all we talk about in life is how we need that for every series.
Well, I'm a reader as well as a writer.
Yeah.
So, and we consume so much books that it's like, shit,
Oh,
what was 12 months ago? What the heck happened in
yeah,
this
yeah.
story again?
Yeah.
So that's my plan. So that's all I have to write still for book 2 is like the previously on recap,
Yeah.
and then put that in. I'm hoping to publish before March. So I don't want them to be more than 12 months
Yeah.
apart.
Yeah.
As soon as I can, basically. Book 3 is half written, and to be completely honest, I'm like a little bit daunted. Daunted?
Yeah.
Is that the word?
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you know what I'm trying to say?
I know what you mean.
Because I'm like gonna miss my characters so much. So I
I
think like
totally
there's
get
a
that.
procrastination there.
Yeah. Because you're like,
Mm.
you can see where it's going, but then that might be the end of the story.
Yeah, it's going to be a complete trilogy. And I don't write for like shock or entertainment in terms of like just for the sake of it. I want everything to have a purpose in the
Hmm.
story. And I always am conscious of what I'm leaving the reader feeling and
Yeah.
like reflecting on and stuff like that. So I wouldn't say like expect me to, do damage or anything
Yeah.
like that. But I do want to like kind of twist. The only hint I'll give is I really want to twist the ideology of who really is the villain.
Mm.
So yeah, I kind of want to go deep into like morals and philosophy and why we think the way we do, and kind of play with feminine and masculine and yeah, morality a little bit there. But that's probably like the only thing that I could say.
I love your like underlying themes, and I love that you are taking your time in writing to keep it authentic for the characters. Because I know it can be so easy just to like, I'm gonna keep writing on what people will want a next book, but you go keeping it true to the story. So I absolutely adore that for you. Um,
Thank you.
we also noticed that like self-acceptance, that self-discovery were such, important themes. What led you kind of making sure that they were key in your novels?
It's the actual drive of the story. The list that Stella has in her journal is what I shaped the entire story around. I
Mm,
started with a list of lessons, a separate list to that list, a list of lessons that I wanted to ingrain within the story. And I used that as my compass throughout actually
mm,
writing the scenes. Like, okay, how can I make this dialogue? How can I make this action? How can I make this a theme or a plot point? Like, the way I kept self acceptance and self love really consistent throughout the stories because that was the bones I built everything on.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm going to Stella's journals. People really loved, the talks of them. Would you consider releasing Stella's journals, like her lists, her guided journal? So much wisdom in those pages, and they would love to read some of Stella's tips.
Whoa, that would be so cool. I
Yes.
love that idea. I would definitely be open to that. I
Yeah.
definitely would. There's bits in like paragraphs and honestly some poetry because I had to like really get into but it would be so vulnerable too because I think there's like obviously elements of myself that's woven in
Yeah.
from like maybe 10 years ago. Um,
Yeah.
so it's interesting because I did a course on the progression of self-love and it was very interesting to see where it starts and this is from like the day you're born to the end
Hmm.
and it was really fascinating to kind of play with that within her self-acceptance because it actually works in a spiral and you continually go through them. So I was trying to make sense of how does learning actually occur to love yourself when it's something that you're forced to do like over and over and over and over because life will change and people will come and they'll tell you something about yourself that you may believe that isn't actually true and then you start again,
Yeah.
so I think for me to understand Stella I had to reflect very deeply on myself and my
Yeah.
own journey. um so
It
I
feels a
would
very
release.
personal novel in ways. Like, is it some direct correlation from your own kind of thoughts and
Yeah.
processing for sure?
Oh, for sure. Like it's like a younger version of myself. I would say where the book kind of follows, like book one was where I was in terms of like that self-loathing and that I'm so lost and I don't understand and that whole life feels like an inside joke I'm not a part of. I just want to
Mm,
feel like I belong somewhere. Like, especially I think as, a feminine in this day and age, it's very difficult to be celebrated as someone thriving. So you're forced to reduce a lot.
yeah.
And I think in book two is probably like where I was maybe like 4 years ago. And book three is kind of like where I am now. So
Oh,
it's
I love
interesting as
that.
well
Yeah.
to finish book three because it's almost like Stella's ahead of my healing journey. So it's like
Mm,
I'm playing catch up with her and teaching
yeah, yeah.
myself at the same time. So
Mm,
yeah, it's very personal, but also there's a lot of things in it that I've never experienced that I felt like I was channeling or downloading from a shared experience amongst other
mm,
people. So it is personal, but it's also a level of detachment because it's not only my story that I was
yeah.
telling, it was weird.
Like allowed that character to grow with yourself, and oh, what a beautiful journey. We also love how you've done playlists, the music. We talked about when we saw you, the scents and the perfumes, the pictures involved. You've created such like an immersive experience for the reader. Are you going to keep that going with each book? Like, are you going to adapt certain things, or is that how you then write because you then have all this kind of immersiveness? Is that part of your process?
Oh, I love that. I absolutely feel it depends on I so the reason with From the Stars, I don't describe any of the characters was because I really wanted people to put themselves in it. And I was like, how
Mm,
can I hide that even more? Let's engage all the senses. Like this story, sure, it was cathartic for me to write, but I didn't write it for myself, if that makes sense. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, if I'm doing this for anyone who decides to pick it up, if it's meant for them, I'm not going to half-ass it. Like I want you immersed in every way possible. And I so far really liked how that's been responded to, and I want to do that. I'm definitely doing a song for each book.
Yep.
Um, so well, the From the Stars anthem is for the whole trilogy, but for my
Yep.
other works, yeah, I've already started like finding artists that I'm like, I would love to like reach out to them and
Mm,
or draw inspiration from them with their permission and consent and stuff like that. And definitely going to work with Aura and Alchemy to get perfumes for all my favorite people.
I love that.
Um, and probably more things too. Like I really want to look at doing like customized annotation packs and stuff
Oh,
like
yep.
for the books.
Yep.
And so the wheels are always turning on how can I personalize this and make it an experience for the
Yep.
reader.
I love that. You've even created a language and you've really, you know what I mean? Like you went next level. You're like, I'm going in, we're doing it all. Did your mind
Yes.
ever go, what am I doing?
It's actually insane where that language came from. I don't even, because it's not real. Like it's not a
Yeah.
language. I sat there and I'd write the sentence in English and I would just like close my eyes and play with it, saying it in different ways. And then it was so seamless. Like it wasn't a challenge. It was just kind of like, have I unlocked some ancient language or something? Like it just was kind of like an affirmation of how crazy we are as humans, because we are
Yeah.
so much more intelligent than we give ourselves credit
Yeah.
for in terms of like the collective consciousness and how I imagine thoughts as kind of like they float and they belong to everyone. And if it's meant for you, you reach up and grab it, and then that
Mhm.
guides your next path if it feels authentic. So I wonder if like the language was just kind of floating. And I was like, oh, that'll work for my book, because I didn't come up with it.
No.
So
No, I
yeah.
love that. Like, I was reading it and then looking at the language, and I thought, gosh, you've pushed it to, this immersion, the language, all sorts. I love that you were like, I'm writing a book. I am doing everything I am. Like it's gonna be, it's happening.
Full send. Full send.
Yeah. Have you done any other writing projects in terms of like novels, or has this been your main focus?
I have. Well, because I normally do editing in 6-week blocks,
Yep.
and everything is kind of in 6-week blocks. It's the only way that my brain kind of makes sense. I don't know why that was the number I picked, but
Yep.
it was like
You were like, go
developmental.
with it.
Yeah, I'm like 6. Okay, cool. We can roll with this. Maybe it's an ancient number. I don't know. But so from the stars one, like while I'd be doing this, then I have 6 weeks here, and then I'll have 6 weeks off while I'm waiting for this. So then me and one of my really good friends, Alicia, we have co-written a high fantasy.
Hmm.
It's going to be a duology, and we're in our second sweep of it now. So we've done first draft. We're just going through before we send it off to betas.
Yep.
Um, and I love that story. It's like romanticy and really touching on quite challenging themes, because I'm finding my voice as a writer is like therapy mixed with humor, mixed with like philosophy and like
Mm,
action.
yep.
And I think that's obviously romance. Like I'm a
Yep.
sucker for romance.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like my voice. If it's like leaving the reader self-reflecting or feeling seen, I've
Mm,
done the right thing. If there's like a beautiful yearning and romance with like green flag energy, that's my style. But then also like I have a social work background, and I want to use that in a way that felt a lot less dark than being in the field.
hmm.
Um, so yeah, I have that project. I have just finished writing a rom-com that is a fake dating standalone, and it's got the ex like stalking themes as well as healthcare politics. So make that make sense.
Oh,
Um, but I've loved it. I've just got alpha feedback yesterday, and the feedback has been wonderful. So
amazing.
that one I really, really like. I've also got a book about two people that hate each other, that have to rely on each other for survival after a boat capsizes. And yeah, so I've got heaps of projects that I'm kind of working
Your
on
mind is like ideas, ideas, ideas. I love this thing you talked
constantly.
about though in like 6 weeks blocks. Is that how you focus on your writing then?
Yeah. I will get way too overwhelmed, I think, with the influx of information I
Mm,
get in terms of ideas. And I give my editors the same amount as same as alphas and betas. I'm like, okay, alpha has this book for 6 weeks, beta over here, developmental editor over here. Okay, so they've got that. Now I can move this here. And if I were doing it just by random days, I think
mm,
I would lose track of it all. Um, and I suppose it's kind of like, as I was saying earlier, now that I have begun to re-honor little me,
mm.
it's almost like I'm playing catch up with years of like depriving myself of writing,
Yeah.
So it's like it's pouring out of me and I just want them out. But at the same time, it's like, don't rush yourself because
Yeah,
it's
don't
kind of like,
overwhelm it. Let your come to you. I think that's a really interesting way to do it in these blocks because we know so many kind of budding writers, and it's like, how do I do this? How do I get started? Oh, I've got to do this person and that. But that's a really cool way to look at it in blocking it in your mind to not
yeah,
overwhelm you because it's still meant to be a creative process. But also,
yeah.
I mean, you obviously will have deadlines and stuff, but that's such a good way to process it.
Yeah, and I think it's a good time for the collaborator as well.
Mm,
Like if I'm commissioning an artist, you've got 6 weeks to do the art. If I
yeah.
am working with the producer for the From the Stars anthem, we've got 6 weeks. I'll fly up, let's record,
Mm.
like everything like that. It's for me as well, but also
That
for
is a good
them.
number though, 6 weeks. Like that is like it's not rushing it. Like they've got, everyone's got a good amount of time.
Yeah,
There
but
must be
it's also
some angelic number to do with that.
it has to be, right? There has to be. And it's also good in the sense that I feel 6 weeks isn't too long that you start procrastinating. Like you've
Yes.
still got a little bit of a
Yeah.
fire behind you.
Yeah.
So it just worked
If
for
you had
me.
said 8, then I'd be like, I am leaving that.
I don't know if I'll be in the country.
Yeah. Oh, that is so good. And this is great to share to people because it can be so overwhelming to start processes like this sometimes. And I love that you have a system that is working. Do you read while writing, or are you like very much, keeping it to writing and not reading, or do you read at the same time?
I love reading. If I'm reading, it'll be from a different genre to what I'm writing
Yeah.
because I don't want to be influenced. Like, especially like say if I'm writing my high fantasy with Alicia, then I'm going to be reading like a Liz Tolford like fake dating sports
Yeah.
romance.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm not stealing. I would never steal, but it's almost
But that
like subliminal.
influence of, yeah.
I'm like, oh, I love that. Maybe I could do something similar. Like I really want it to be completely original and give credit
Mm,
where credit is due. And intellectual property is super like important to
yeah.
me. So I'll read something that won't influence me,
Yep.
or I'm beta or alpha reading for friends, or book club obviously.
Yeah.
So there's at least like 2 books a month that I'm reading. But if I give myself a 6 week block of time off, which I've done as well, I'm like, okay, that's good 6 weeks of just being Kiki.
Yeah.
Then oh my god, the rate I consume novels is
You're
insane.
like, I've got this ready. It's my time.
I've got like the book, the Kindle. I'm like, yeah.
The audio as well. Your mind is like,
No, literally, I'm like a glutton in that 6 week break.
so that gives me the perfect question to end our little convo. What was your current read or your most favorite last read that you'd like to recommend or share?
Oh my gosh, let me look at my shelf right now. So the current read that I'm about to start is Vow of Eternal Night by Lily Crozier.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
really, really excited to read that. So it's not really a recommendation because I haven't read it yet, but from what I've seen her talk about, it just
Mm.
sounds fabulous. And the last one I read was Every Spiral of Fate by Tahara Mafi. It's book 4
Oh,
in
yes.
her. She wrote the Shatter Me series. I don't know
Yes.
if you
Yes.
remember. So
Yep.
this is her new series, and this is book 4. It is like if you see you want slow burn, this is the slowest of slowest slow burn, and it's high world building, but the characters are so lovable and so real, and it's escapism, not in the sense where you just want to leave reality, but in the sense that you begin to understand your own reality by comparison, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not fully escapism, it's relatable, even though there's no real replications because it's magic.
Yep.
So that's probably my recommendation.
Read any of that series yet, but I really want to. I've heard such great things.
Oh, I want to tell you something so bad that I have to wait. It's so good.
I love that.
We need to talk about it.
Well, we thank you so much for having this chat with us and allowing us to share this with book club. And yeah, thank you for your beautiful writing and, these beautiful themes that you intertwined with fantasy and sci-fi, and it just all melts together. So it was so great to be able to share this with the group this month.
Oh, I really appreciate that. And I thank you and everyone for reading it. And a lot more of like the sciencey part comes in book 2. And
Mm,
I'm thankful that you're along for the ride.
amazing. Thank you so much, Kiki.
Thank you.